Hey TPT sellers, this is a live stream where I'm going to explain today what's the difference between a WordPress.com website and a WordPress.org website. So if you have a TPT blog or if you have a TPT seller website, because if you've watched my channel on the SEO Entrepreneur channel, we talk a lot about how you should build on your own domain. So maybe you've started something and you're on WordPress.com and you don't understand why I can do things that you can't do, or you don't really know like Bluehost, SiteGround, or even SEOT hosting. What's the difference? So in today's episode, I'll walk you through that. I'll talk a little bit. I'll do a little mini lesson talking about WordPress.com versus WordPress.org. And then I'm going to do what I normally do, which is just work on my website. And to be honest, this week, I haven't worked on my website since the last episode, because I've been busy with the TPT sale and stuff like that. So really, yeah, this is, you know how it is. All right, here we go. One day I'll have an introduction title track, but today is not that day. So I'm going to switch to the comments. If you have comments, feel free to ask your WordPress questions. If you have questions about your TPT store, you can ask them. Enrique and I do a live stream on Tuesday, so you can ask them there. So this week I was chatting with a TPT seller and answering some questions about WordPress. So that's the difference. That's the unfair advantage that I provide. I am wicked good with computers. Like I've been doing WordPress for like 13 years, like a bunch of time. And I'm wicked good at teaching, and I'm wicked good at learning, right? Like and sure, am I the best in any of those categories? No, absolutely not. But I'm a triple threat in this TPT seller space in that my combination, wicked good with computers, and I understand TPT selling and our needs, that gives me the competitive advantage. So I'm not selling web hosting, I'm selling WordPress coaching, right? That's combined with website hosting. But yeah, okay. So basically the premise is, a lot of you are thinking, should I go on social media? Should I go on like word of mouth? Where should I advertise? The point that I think is that right now, a lot of us, we're just putting everything and we're sending it towards our product pages. Like we go on Facebook and we link to our product page or whatever. I don't think that's what we should be doing. I think what we should be doing is building on our domain, right? So we build on our domain. This is masterclass number 2. No, this is episode 16 or something like that. But anyways, this is the idea that you build on your like social media. It doesn't matter where you go. All roads lead to your website, where you develop your trust. People know you, people like you, people trust you, people buy from you. So you're building your expertise on your domain. And we set up our domain on a WordPress site. And from our website, we link back to the product page, and this future-proofs us, because if TPT goes down or we switch platforms, then our website where we've built our credibility, that's where the magic happens, and then we sell. Right? So WordPress.com versus WordPress.org, what's the difference? They both are WordPress, right? So WordPress is free software to run a website, right? Kind of like how iOS is software to run a phone and Android is software to run a phone, right? So WordPress is software, it's free, and WordPress.com is basically one company, Automatic. It's their company's implementation of WordPress. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things here. Oops, hey, that was odd. And then I'm going to go into the specifics here. So if I go to WordPress.com, and if you just think like, hey, I'm going to start on WordPress, no problem. You're going to go to WordPress.com, right? It's going to look like this. And you can scroll down here, and a lot of things, like if I go to WordPress.org, I've never even heard of WordPress.org, Mike. If you create an account on Bluehost or SiteGround or SEOT hosting, and we say that we manage WordPress for you, it means that we've installed the WordPress software, right? Like on your home computer for fun, you could click on download WordPress and then figure out how to install it. And you can install WordPress on your computer at home. It won't be open to the internet, but you'll be able to use WordPress on your computer, right? So basically the idea, what we have here with WordPress is Automatic is running WordPress software on their computer, and it's their version of WordPress. WordPress.com is a very specialized to fit their market, right? So Automatic has decided that WordPress should be simple. Their dashboard should be simpler. So if you have a free WordPress.com account, it looks different from the back end of a WordPress WordPress.org or like your own self-hosted stuff. Like it's slightly different. So Automatic has separate companies and they decide how much server power they're going to run on a WordPress.com website. Okay, is there a free plan with WordPress? So if you go to WordPress.com, yep, they have a free plan, but no plugins. I'll talk about that in a second. If you want to run your own WordPress, the answer is no. There's no free plan because you need a computer to run WordPress software. So if I come back here to this example, like get WordPress, and you download WordPress onto your computer, you're using your own computer to run the WordPress site. And you can have a website on your computer. And if you wanted to, you could open up your computer to the internet and let people visit your computer, but you don't want to do that. It's a security risk. So now what you need to do is you need to find a computer, someone else's computer, and basically use their computer, right? So rather than using your own computer, you're going to go find a web hosting company. And that's Bluehost, that's SiteGround, that's SEOT hosting. And there's a whole bunch of companies which offer different products and different prices. And sometimes those product names are a little bit confusing because they're really the same product, but packaged differently. So there is no free plan if you want to run a self-hosted WordPress account because you're going to need to rent a computer somewhere in the world to use it, right? But WordPress.com has a free plan. So let's go to WordPress.com. And if I go to products, I actually really like, so I used WordPress.com a long time ago, and now I just use WordPress.org because you need plugins to do all the cool stuff that you can do in WordPress, because otherwise you're limited to what you can do with whatever the company provides you, right? So if I go, I'm just going to, I think they have a compare plans site. Where's their complaint? Create a site. Plans and pricings. Okay, maybe here. Okay, so the free site, it's fantastic. They offer these themes. You can have as many pages, as many users as you want. And it is solid because it's on WordPress infrastructure. We don't know how many resources you get because they don't disclose that. But they run ads on your free site, right? So if you start with free, they're going to run advertising because they have to generate revenue to offset the costs. So yep, it's free, but you're getting ads and you're not getting a cut on the ad spend, right? So then eventually you think, okay, I'm going to want to have, instead of WordPress.com, I'm going to want to have your domain. And so if you want to have your domain, then it looks like you're going to have a personal plan, right? So then instead of having WordPress.com, you have your domain, which you'll have to buy like $13 US is what I charge for domains because that's cost. So then you have your domain, you have it pointing to your site. And so your domain is $12. And then your personal plan, and these are Canadian prices, I apologize, but it'll be $60 per the year, right? This is, if I pay monthly, it's $12 per month, right? Okay, so I could have a personal plan. I could be on WordPress.com. I could pay $12 a month Canadian, and then I will have a website on my own domain, but I can't install plugins yet. Eventually, you are going to want to install plugins. And the only way you can do that is once you get to this business tier plan with WordPress, right? So if I go to the annual plan, it's $33 per year. Canadian is $396 annually. Okay, plugins is where the secret sauce power for WordPress comes to. And if I go to WordPress.org, and if I go up here to plugins, this is where like so many companies and computer people have created plugins, free versions and premium versions. You can only have free plugins on the WordPress repository, but oftentimes there's an upsell, right? So if I type SEO here for a free plugin, like there's Yoast, which is fantastic, 5 million installations. There's Rank Math, I've never used that, 2 million. I use All-in-One, which is 3 million. So there's a bunch of different options and different companies do different things. And the reason why I love WordPress is because you have specific companies here where basically Yoast specializes, their whole company specializes on SEO, right? All-in-One, that company focuses on SEO. It's not like where you have, I don't know, Wix or something like that, where you're left at the mercy of Wix to implement whatever things you want. And if you don't like the way that Wix is doing something, you can't go in and change the code, right? You can't add, oh, I'm going to add this plugin to add this feature. You can't do that on Wix. So that's why I only recommend WordPress for my clients. But yeah, so you want the business plan of WordPress.com in order to do plugins, which will start us at $33 Canadian per month. Okay. Oops, sorry. So if we talk about plugins, because plugins, if you're just starting, like if I'm not selling WordPress hosting, website hosting, if I'm just starting and I'm looking at this, like, okay, let's analyze the difference here, then this is not bad, right? Like a personal site, you get $5 per month, $60 annually. Otherwise I have to pay, like I would not, well, yeah, that's another story. I'm a sucker for the annual pricing. So then I often buy the annual pricing, and then if I don't use it, then it's a loss. So I really should try what I do now is I try to say, okay, I'm going to do 3 months of the monthly rate. And if I'm still using it after 3 months, then I'm going to buy up to the annual rate, right? To save the money. But anyways, so if I was just starting and I just want to have a website, and I go back here to this picture where you own the land, right? You got to have a domain, which costs $13 per year. Do not buy it from Bluehost because they have first year pricing, and then they charge you for privacy, right? Privacy, that's an add-on that shouldn't be charged. Like, you don't have to charge for privacy. You can offer it for free. So for SEOT hosting, the place that I buy my domains, they charge me $13. So then I charge my clients $13, and I can offer privacy for free because that's just a setting, right? Bluehost or other companies that charge separately for privacy realize that's an upsell path, right? You don't have to do that. So a domain name should cost you $13 per year. And if it doesn't, then go buy it from Cloudflare because that's cheap. That's the cheapest place. That's where I personally buy it from, actually. Okay. But so basically you want to have your domain name here on WordPress. And if I'm going with WordPress.com, $5 per month, $60 annually, I'll get to have my domain, but I won't be able to add plugins or features, right? So I will forget this. I'm just kind of curious for my own research. I'm going to write that down because I will forget. So WordPress.com. So domain, $13 domain plus $60 hosting plan. All right. Right, but no plugins. No plugins, because the plugins are where the secret sauce is. Okay, so if I'm on WordPress, like if I come back to my talking points here, hello, talking points. I don't even know where you are. Here we go. So if I go back to my talking points and I realize I want plugins, so WordPress, the plugins on WordPress, you're on whatever server power that they have. If you go with a web hosting company, you can run plugins, but you're limited to whatever server power that you get with that. So if you go with SiteGround or Bluehost, the cheapest plans are shared hosting. You have very limited server power that's shared across, I don't know, 100 sites. So you don't get a lot of hot water in the house, if that makes sense. All right, let's look here at WordPress.com, WordPress hosting. That's what we want. It's probably $25 US per month there. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. This is the business plan that they're offering, right? This is the same plan here. So let's say, okay, I like my WordPress experience, WordPress.com experience on automatic. I like this. I like being on automatic, and I want to get a paid plan. So yeah, the greatest thing about WordPress.com is it is less do-it-yourself pain in the ass PETA factor, right? Pain in the ass factor. So the wonderful thing about WordPress.com is they run WordPress, they run all the updates, they do all the security stuff because that's their niche. That's where their expertise is. They're a large company, so they have support people. They're able to do that. Whereas WordPress.org, if you go to a web hosting company, you have to do more do-it-yourself stuff on your end. So what that means is you've got to update the plugins. You've got to make sure that it's secure, right? yeah, we do manage WordPress hosting in that we only run WordPress. There's other things on the servers that you have to do, but basically you just have to worry about WordPress. But worrying about WordPress means if I'm on WordPress on a self-hosted platform like I am with EduCircles, and I give it a second to load, here I am, and I'm going to log into EduCircles. Here we go. Right. So this is an example of of WordPress with plugins. And you can get this either by being on the business plan for WordPress or by being on any plan at a on any plan. Why is this so hard for me to? I don't know. Maybe I'll do this. There we go. By being on any plan with WordPress.org, right? So if you're on WordPress.com and you want plugins, you've got to be on that business plan and you pay per site. Whereas if you're running on WordPress software with a WordPress hosting company, yeah, you can set up multi-site WordPress, which is free because you control the WordPress installation. So you can have multiple sites on a single account with your web hosting company. The issue is how much server power that you have. You need server power more than shared hosting, more than what you're getting with Bluehost. But we all start with Bluehost. I started there too because it's cheap and it's a way to start playing with that. Okay, so WordPress.com. Here we go. Let's move that to the side. I'll be able to install these plugins. So I can install whatever plugins I want to do. On my end, because I'm on my own self-hosted things, I have to update plugins, right? So if I go, and I have a lot of plugins here, but I'll have to update them individually, or not individually, but I'll have to come in and make sure that that's updated. I actually use, on my servers, we use WPMU Dev is our background. So they have this auto update thing. So things get updated. There's less pain for me to do, but I'm responsible for making sure that things update. And if things break, then I sort of have to fix things out. Okay. So where am I going with this? Because I recently moved, the reason why I'm talking about this is I recently moved someone from WordPress.com to SEOT hosting, and I had to sort of clarify some of these differences. But I didn't realize that actually when you're on WordPress.org, because they had a business site, it's $33 per month or whatever per site. So if they want to have a business site plus their TPT site, then they've just doubled their cost. Whereas if you are on, and I'll show you SEOT hosting because that's us, right? And you can only get on SEOT hosting if you're one of my clients, because this is what we need. But basically, whatever plan that you have, right? So this is the base plan. The moment you have the base plan, you can have unlimited sites. You can have 1 million sites. Yeah. The problem is, would you want to have 1 million sites? Well, no, eventually, so many people are visiting, your site will slow down. You'll need more server power. But yeah, this is what I realized, that the benefit, the angle that I have is once you have this $33.25 per month, that's American, by the way, you can have as many sites as you want to. The piece that I also need to make sure I clarify is for my clients, I give them a license to All-in-One SEO and Monster Pro. But even though on the plan you can install whatever plugins you want, some premium plugins have costs, right? Like All-in-One SEO has a cost. And so you only get one license. And how much is SEO, All-in-One SEO pricing? If I go here, see lots of competitors pricing. There we go. Oh, fascinating. So then in theory, you're paying $49 per year or $100 divided by, so $33 per year. Because I'm an agency, I can buy it at the agency rate. And so then I get to charge you, I think I get to charge you Monster Insights. I can't remember what it is. So bottom line, if I was just starting and I'm going with WordPress, well, if I'm talking to you and it's Mike, and Mike, you're listening, and this is like Mike, I haven't met yet, but Mike, someone who's going to one day become whatever you can do with your website, I would stick with me, Mike, because I know what I'm doing with WordPress. I know what I need for my own websites, and I know it's not Bluehost. And then I would chat with you about, yeah, okay, here's what we need to do with your WordPress site. But basically, if I didn't know about the existence of Mike, and I only had to choose between WordPress.com and WordPress.org, oh, tricky. I would just start. If I was just starting and I didn't know about Mike, here's the trap. I would go here. Oh, this is the huge trap, and this is how they'll get you. and it's a brilliant motto, but basically you'll start WordPress.com for free, and then you'll realize I want a domain name. So that's $5, like $60 annually plus the domain name. And that's good enough for what you need to do, which is not have ads on your website and have your domain, right? And just simple create content, but you won't have the analytics and stuff like that. And so then eventually you want to upgrade. But by this point, you're on WordPress.com and you trust them. So you'll upgrade to $33 per site because that's what you think you have to do. And then that's where we're stuck. All right. So that's my WordPress.com chat. If you have questions about that, feel free to leave in the comments your questions about it. What I'm going to do right now, hey, Google, can you set a 20-minute timer? Is I'm going to work on my site on my educircles.org website.
All right, 20 minutes.
Thanks, buddy.
Starting now.
All right. So last time, I think I only I need to update these posts because I think all of them have like, okay, so this is back to school. I think I did that. I don't think I did citizenship. Have I done citizenship? Back to school, I've done citizenship. Have I done collaboration? I have not done collaboration because his last update was April 18th. Are there other more important things for me to do? Probably. But I know that if this has stuff from April 18th, it's going to turn people away. And then like if it's not relevant, right? Like if this said 2016, you're hopping away at that point. Why do I put the date in here? Because I don't have to show the date. I'm actually manually showing this date here, right? Because I literally typed it in this block here. I do it for me so that I know where I am, because sometimes I think I'm going to update these constantly, but I never get a chance to do that. So maybe I should take it out. I don't know. I'm going to update this to now so that the post date is there. Back to school. Okay, so I'm going to have language. Remind students how to learn with this back to school collaboration lesson plan. With these with lesson. Okay, so I'm going to keep that. Sometimes I think, Mike, why don't I just outsource this constantly updating thing? And the problem is, and I love VAs, and I've had some experiences with different VAs in different parts, is it's very easy to start to think like, oh, I'll just get a VA to do this. But good sales copywriting. So this is copy. Like, I don't know why it's called copy, but just words on a page, that's called copy. So like sales copy. Good sales copy is more than just simply technically writing things up. It's about the ability to sell features and benefits, right? Talk about the benefits. So the features, this has 8 collaborative lesson plan examples. The benefit is if you teach students how to work together before problems start, you're going to have less of a headache later. So I'm going to focus on that benefit. Train students how to work in groups before the problems start. I don't need to say what problems. They know what I'm talking about, right? Epic, power up your back to school collaboration, power up your back to school activities with this collaboration lesson, with these collaboration lesson plans. Right? Is that the best sales copy? Probably not. Am I the best sales copywriter? No. But right away, this is better because someone reading this page will see the problem that I solve. So when I work with VAs, it's hard because everyone thinks like, oh, I can do that for you, Mike. I can and I get cold emails and cold calls a lot. Like, hey, I can help you with your website. But quite frankly, I don't trust you to be able to write good sales copy because, like when you go on Fiverr, it says like, we've helped millions of whatever. Okay, well, show me examples of your sales copy that you wrote yourself. And ChatGPT, yeah, I know it's great, but now there's a budding industry of copywriters who are like, I'll take your ChatGPT draft and turn it into something that looks like a human actually wrote it, right? Because there's this flavor about artificial intelligence produced content. All right, train students how to work in groups before the problems start again. All right, so see that subtle hint? Power up your back to school. Okay, so I'm going to update that before I forget. I need to change the image so that right away when people land on this page, they see themselves using this content. So I have already uploaded in my media library back to school stuff. So let's just get the alternative text here. Back to school learning skills. So literally it's in that image. Back to school collaboration learning skills. All right. Yeah, that works for me. Hit select, save that. I'll update because WordPress doesn't auto update. They have this auto update backup feature, but I find it frustrating at this stage of the game. But WordPress is constantly getting better. Let's go down to the page. Let's make sure I have a featured image, learning skills for 2023. Let's change that. So let's change it to the current one, back to school. There we go. Let's update that. So here, sometimes the blocks get wonky. I just hit update recovery. All right, so I do want to make sure, well, my heading is low, but that's another episode. Maybe I'll talk about that next time. Okay, so I definitely know I need to change the because this doesn't have that pain point in here. So I'm going to edit this snippet. Ooh, that was nice. So teaching collaborative lesson plans, back to school 2023, back to school learning skills. It's too long. Okay, back to school 2023. All right, yeah, good enough. I'm going to have this, I want to have train your students before basically I have to figure out what to write here so that it's enticing enough that people will want to click on this. So, but I also want to include what it actually includes, which are those benefits, or sorry, the features, which is collaborative lesson plans, examples for students, teamwork skills, collaboration strategies, teamwork skills, strategy. All right, and videos. All righty, and okay, so I want to have this idea about group work is not the same as teamwork. Group work is not the same as teamwork. Train your students before the problems start again. Group work is not the same as teamwork. So now I have 251 characters, so I've got to get rid of some stuff here. I am going to forget what this is, so maybe I'll copy that and I'll paste that at the top later. I'm going to put it in a notepad here before I forget. All right. So collaborative lesson plans, examples for students, teamwork skills, strategies. I should say who it's for, but if I get rid of that, now it's still too long. Group work is not the same as teamwork. Collaborative lesson plans, example. Collaborative lesson plans, skills, strategies, activities, and videos. And more? No. And more. Videos. What if I just go like that? 160 characters. Good enough for me. So train your students before the problems start again. Group work is not the same as teamwork. Collaborative lesson plans. All right. So I should put the age group, but now let's see what happens. All right. So how do I save this? Is it auto save? Let's copy that. Yeah, it looks like it was auto, or at least it updated there. If I go to the bottom, we're at the all-in-one SEO. Hello, all-in-one SEO. All right. Focus keyword. Yeah, so that's changed in there. 71 of maximum. Teaching collaboration lessons. Okay, so teaching collaboration. How about I go back to school 2023, teaching collaboration lesson plans. Skills. Too long. Teaching back to school, teaching collaboration lesson plans / skills. All right. So let's update that. Now, my focus key phrase. Ooh, I've dropped here. Teaching collaboration. That's what I was trying to go for. So now it's not. Oh, it is in the title, but not in the meta description. So I'm going to add that in my meta description. So I like having all-in-one SEO here because it reminds me, Mike, you're trying to rank for teaching collaboration. So let's get back to that. Train your students before the problems start again. Teaching collaboration. Collaboration means teaching collaboration means group work is not the same as teamwork. All right, I'll leave that. Collaborative lesson plans. That's probably because I was trying to rank for collaborative at one point. So collaborative, lesson plans, activities, videos. Still too long. Collaborative lesson plans and activities. There we go. Nope, too long. Collaborative lesson plans / activities. Google's going to take what it thinks it wants to show and ignore what I'm saying here anyways. So this is more of a suggestion. It's not a guarantee. Train your students before problems start again. There we go. Teaching collaboration means group work is not the same as teamwork. Collaborative lesson plans. All right. So that might make people curious enough. What do you mean group work's not the same as teamwork? And they might click on that for a link. So I should probably make sure that I explain this in my first few sentences, right? Because otherwise they're going to bounce back if they're looking for that. So let's just go up here to the top. All right, so this is what they'll see right away. Train students how to work in groups before the problems start again. Okay, power. What else do I have to teach in collaboration? Collaborative. Oh, I have to have this ideas. Okay, so let's get rid of the do you agree, because that was an old campaign that I was trying. And let's go here. Check out these collaborative lesson plans, examples for students, teamwork skills, collaboration skills for elementary. Okay, so if I update this, now if I preview it, I have 9 minutes left because I have to make sure I save some time to upload it to Google Search Console because that's the secret sauce. All right, so here I am. I don't love how wide it is, but that's a problem for another day. Teamwork in elementary. So this is, maybe I want to change that, right? Because I want to talk about teaching collaboration. That's the keyword here. Teaching collaboration means train your students. Means training students. All right, let's move that out. I don't know why. It should be the introduction, but for some reason it doesn't recognize it in the checklist as an introduction. All right, so teaching collaboration, lesson plans, teamwork in elementary. Okay, so I need to make sure that it says back to school. Back to school 2023, right? Back to school 2023 learning skills. Teaching collaboration lesson plans. This is too long, but let's run with it. Group work is not the same as teamwork. So let's just teaching. Here we go. Teaching back to school 2023 learning skills, colon, group work is not the same as teamwork, question mark. And then, so this is actually too long. Oh, well, let's see what that looks like. Back to school 20. So this is above the fold, and above the fold is coming from the newspaper days where basically what do you see without scrolling down? So the idea that I'm trying to get across here is if I look at this snippet, right? So here's the snippet. This is what it could show up like on Google, because Google always decides what to show. Back to school, teaching collaboration lesson plans / skills. I want actually to say 2023 because I think that'll be better. I think that'll be more relevant to people. They'll be like 2023 because then they're like, okay, I know this is recent. It's been updated. So 2023. So let's update this. And by the way, your Google snippet is different from whatever your WordPress snippet is. And this part here, which is normally the title, can be different from what you actually display because some themes, like the Cadence theme that we use on EduCircle sites, it's free. It allows me on Cadence, I love this theme, excuse me, I can turn on or off the page title, right? So on this page, it's turned off. Anyway, let's, my heading number is low, ask me why. But here I am. Let's just go to the page. Let's refresh this page. Back to school 2023 learning skills. Group work is not the same as teamwork. Teaching collaboration lesson plans in elementary. I don't need a colon there, but good enough. All right. So I've got back to school learning skill. So someone who clicks on my snippet and the snippet looks like, where's my snippet? All-in-one SEO. Here we go. Here's my general. Here's my snippet. This is what the snippet looks like. So I'm just imagining. So when when you say like, oh, the algorithm doesn't like me, or Instagram changed this algorithm and I'm not ranking anymore, or TPT changed this algorithm, I'm not ranking anymore, or YouTube changed the algorithm doesn't like me, or Google algorithm doesn't like me. What I've learned from Mr. Beast is instead of saying algorithm, say your audience. No, your audience doesn't like your video, right? Like, so no, if people don't click on this, it's because people, teachers, don't like that snippet. They're not going to click on that, right? So back to school, teaching collaboration lesson plans 2023. Would I click on that? Okay, training your students before problems start again. So that's a feature, right? Or sorry, that's a benefit. I'm selling the benefit, the context of why I want this. What's my pain point? My kids can't work together. And how will this solve it? I'm going to train my students before the problems start again. Teaching collaboration means group work is not the same as teamwork. What do you mean group work's not the same as teamwork? So that's the curiosity piece that I'm hoping that people will click on. Collaborative lesson plans, activities. Okay, so just going to copy that. And then they land on this page. Do I answer those questions? Right? So the questions here, let's just move this on the side and let's make this big. I got 4 minutes here. If I land here, do I see right away? Yeah, it's too wide. It's not perfect. I'll fix it later. I just want it good enough. 80% perfect. Teaching collaboration means training students how to work in groups before the problems start again. Power up your back to school activities. I see right away elementary, middle school, high school. So maybe it's enough. I see 8 collaborative lesson plans. And if I click on that, where does that take me? It scrolls me down to other things. And the name of the game is I hook them. I'm trying to hook them, so that eventually they're like, okay, I like this. And then they click on this button, get the resource. This should pop up in a new window. Bad that it doesn't, right? But it takes them to the product and then they can buy. Why is it bad that it doesn't pop up in a new window? Because if I close this, I've left the page. Whereas if that had opened in a new window, they would have stayed on this page. So I'll fix that really quickly. Get the resource, click on that. I don't know. I feel like, oh, let's get out of here. Let's go back to the sidebar. Click on the block. Here's the button link. I open it up. Link target is open in new tab. And then I'm going to, is there a save? No. So I find sometimes it's wonky. Sometimes it doesn't remember. Did you remember? Open a new tab. Update this page. All right. So I'm updating it. I got 3 minutes. I got to go to Google Search Console. Let's just make sure it's opening the way I like it. If I scroll down, get the resource, opens up a new tab. Why is it important to open a new tab? Because when I close this tab, if I'm like, oh, I don't want this, then I close it and I'm still on my website. I go back to the website. So that is important. Open a new tab always. Anyways, I'm going to do the secret sauce that people don't do. Search Console, Google Search Console. Here's my post. I'm going to go to Google Search Console and I'm manually telling Google, hey, I updated this page. Check it out. That is the most important thing you can do. Now, all-in-one SEO has this very cool feature, which I love, which is, it's called, I think, like Index Now, and it's only in their premium version. We have it on our client sites. But Index Now, all-in-one SEO, that feature only works with Microsoft and Yandex. So Bing is good because Bing, that means like Bing and ChatGPT, and that means that your stuff will be content and automatic. I don't have to go to Bing to update this, right? Because my Index Now did it. But Google doesn't allow that sort of third-party integration. So that means I have to manually come in and update this. By the way, super excited because I had 4 people watching and only one of that is my kid. Because I told my kid, hey, watch this video, you know, because that way it makes me feel good. So one day, hopefully there'll be more people. Now, I have 2 minutes left. The point of this live stream, if I go back to my channel, the point of the live stream is to create content about WordPress. TPT sellers, I've discovered some of us, very small number, we're really good with computers. The rest of us, not so much, right? And so my job is to earn your trust and answer your questions about WordPress and what I would personally do and why I wouldn't, right? Obviously, I'm biased because I sell hosting and I bring people, like I realize the product niche that teacherpreneur, the problem that I realize is that teachers don't know how to start. They're like, I want to be on WordPress, but I don't know where to start. Awesome. Here are the 16 steps that you didn't even realize you had to do. And I'll do this for you for $16, right? Like, and I'll set you up. So that's where I realized that my niche can be. That's the problem I'm solving. If I tie it back to your TPT store, my question is, what's the teacher problem that your products solve, right? Someone asked me on the SEO Entrepreneur channel, like, I have 9 products and no sales. And my first question, I haven't responded to them, is, are you a teacher? Because if you're not a teacher, you've got to realize and research what teachers need. But if you are a teacher, my second question is, are you creating content that you yourself would use in the classroom? And when I say teacher, I mean educator, because you can be, you can have taught at the upper like tertiary, like post-secondary level, and maybe you've never taught in the classroom, but you have a kid, like you're helping your kid and you realize what they're learning at school, and then you have to differentiate the content for your kid so that they can find success. And then you realize, actually, that's pretty good stuff. Like, I bet you other kids would benefit from this. That's firsthand lived experience. You know what the problem is? That stuff will probably sell on TPT. And then it becomes a marketing thing about how to create products and descriptions and things that people actually want to buy your products. But if you haven't been a teacher and you haven't taught in education, and you just watch some video about, hey Google, turn off the alarm, and you just watch some video about, hey, you can repurpose content. Yeah, you know what? Figure out what the problem is first. Like, what do teachers need, and how does your product solve that problem? Anyways, if you watch this, let me know if you have any questions about WordPress or why. If you have any questions about anything I've said, ask a question. And what I'll do every week is, at the start of the live stream, I'll teach a mini lesson based on a question that came up during the week, or something that I notice is a misconception out there. I will see you later. Thanks so much for watching the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.